UK Driving Theory Test Practice. Topic 8. Part 2. Vehicle Handling. Knowing how to control your vehicle under different circumstances while driving is an essential skill. And the questions in this section address that topic. Vehicle handling is affected by the quality of the road surface, by weather conditions and the type of road you are on. Less than perfect conditions will require you to have knowledge of brake fade, engine braking, wet brakes, using headlights and overtaking. Coasting is to be avoided as the brake systems and power steering do not work properly if the car is in neutral. Question 26 of 51. Why should you switch off your rear fog lights when the fog has cleared? A. To stop the engine losing power. B. To stop draining the battery. C. To prevent dazzling following drivers. D. To allow your headlights to work. The correct answer is C. To prevent dazzling following drivers. Explanation. Don't forget to switch off your fog lights when the weather improves. You could be prosecuted for driving with them on in good visibility. The high intensity of rear fog lights can dazzle following drivers and make your brake lights difficult to notice. Question 27 of 51. What will happen if you use rear fog lights in good conditions? A. They'll make following drivers keep back. B. They'll make it safer when towing a trailer. C. They'll dazzle other drivers. D. They'll protect you from larger vehicles. The correct answer is C. They'll dazzle other drivers. Explanation. Rear fog lights shine more brightly than normal rear lights, so that they show up in reduced visibility. When the visibility improves, you must switch them off. This stops them dazzling the driver behind. Question 28 of 51. What can fitting chains to your wheels help to prevent? A. Skidding in deep snow. B. Wear to the tires. C. The brakes locking. D. Damage to the road surface. The correct answer is A. Skidding in deep snow. Explanation. Chains can be fitted to your wheels in snowy conditions. They can help you to move off without wheel spin, or to keep moving in deep snow. You'll still need to adjust your driving to suit these conditions. Question 29 of 51. How can you use your vehicle's engine to control your speed? A. By changing to a higher gear. B. By changing to a lower gear. C. By selecting neutral. D. By selecting reverse gear. The correct answer is B. By changing to a lower gear. Explanation. You should brake and slow down before selecting a lower gear. The gear can then be used to keep the speed low and help you control the vehicle. This is particularly helpful on long downhill stretches, where brake fade can occur if the brakes overheat. Question 30 of 51. Why could it be dangerous to keep the clutch down, or select neutral, for long periods of time while you're driving? A. It will wear tires out more quickly. B. Engine damage may be caused. C. Fuel spillage will occur. D. You'll have less steering and braking control. The correct answer is D. You'll have less steering and braking control. Explanation. Letting your vehicle roll or coast in neutral reduces your control over steering and braking. This can be dangerous on downhill slopes, where your vehicle could pick up speed very quickly. Question 31 of 51. You're driving on an icy road. What distance from the car in front should you drive? A. 8 times the normal distance. B. 10 times the normal distance. C. 4 times the normal distance. D. 6 times the normal distance. The correct answer is B. 10 times the normal distance. Explanation. Don't travel in icy or snowy weather unless your journey is essential. Drive extremely carefully when roads are or may be icy. Stopping distances can be 10 times greater than on dry roads. Question 32 of 51. You're driving on a well-lit motorway on a clear night. What must you do? A. Use front fog lights. B. Use rear fog lights. C. Use only your side lights. D. Use your headlights. The correct answer is D. Use your headlights. Explanation. If you're driving on a motorway at night or in poor visibility, you must always use your headlights, even if the road is well lit. Other road users must be able to see you, but you should avoid causing dazzle. Question 33 of 51. You're on a motorway at night with other vehicles just ahead of you. Which lights should you have on? A. Front fog lights. B. Side lights only. C. Dipped headlights. D. Main beam headlights. The correct answer is C. Dipped headlights. Explanation. If you're driving behind other traffic on the motorway at night, use dipped headlights. Main beam headlights will dazzle the other drivers. Your headlights' dip beam should fall short of the vehicle in front. Question 34 of 51. What will affect your vehicle's stopping distance? A. The speed limit. B. The street lighting. C. The time of day. D. The condition of the tires. The correct answer is D. The condition of the tires. Explanation. Having tires correctly inflated and in good condition will ensure they have maximum grip on the road. How well your tires grip the road has a significant effect on your car's stopping distance. Question 35 of 51. You're driving on a motorway at night. When may you switch off your headlights? A. When there are vehicles close in front of you. B. When your vehicle is broken down on the hard shoulder. C. When the motorway is lit. D. When you're traveling below 50 miles per hour. The correct answer is B. When your vehicle is broken down on the hard shoulder. Explanation. Always use your headlights at night on a motorway unless you've had to stop on the hard shoulder. If you break down and have to use the hard shoulder, switch off your headlights but leave your side lights on, so that other road users can see your vehicle. Question 36 of 51. When will you feel the effects of engine braking? A. When you change to a higher gear. B. When you change to a lower gear. C. When you're in neutral. D. When you only use the handbrake. The correct answer is B. When you change to a lower gear. Explanation. When you take your foot off the accelerator, engines have a natural resistance to turn, caused mainly by the cylinder compression. Changing to a lower gear requires the engine to turn faster, and so it will have greater resistance than when it's made to turn more slowly. When going downhill, changing to a lower gear will therefore help to keep the vehicle's speed in check. Question 37 of 51. Daytime visibility is poor but not seriously reduced. Which lights should you switch on? A. Rear fog lights. B. Headlights and fog lights. C. Front fog lights. D. Dipped headlights. The correct answer is D. Dipped headlights. Explanation. Only use your fog lights when visibility is seriously reduced. Use dipped headlights in poor conditions because this helps other road users to see you without the risk of causing dazzle. Question 38 of 51. Why are vehicles fitted with rear fog lights? A. To warn drivers following closely to drop back. B. To make them more visible in thick fog. C. To show when they've broken down in a dangerous position. D. To make them more visible when driving at high speed. The correct answer is B. To make them more visible in thick fog. Explanation. Rear fog lights make it easier to spot a vehicle ahead in foggy conditions. Avoid the temptation to use other vehicles' lights as a guide, as they may give you a false sense of security. Question 39 of 51. While you're driving in fog, it becomes necessary to use front fog lights. What should you remember? A. Switch them off when visibility improves. B. Only use them on dual carriageways. C. Only use them in heavy traffic conditions. D. Don't use them on motorways. The correct answer is A. Switch them off when visibility improves. Explanation. It's illegal to use your fog lights in conditions other than when visibility is seriously reduced, that is, less than 100 meters 328 feet. Fog lights are very brightened. If you use them when visibility has improved, you could dazzle other drivers. Question 40 of 51. What should you do when there's been a heavy fall of snow? A. Only drive when your journey is short. B. Don't drive unless you have a mobile phone. C. Don't drive unless it's essential. D. Drive with your hazard warning lights on. The correct answer is C. Don't drive unless it's essential. Explanation. Consider whether the increased risk is worth it. If the weather conditions are bad and your journey isn't essential, then don't drive. Question 41 of 51. You're driving down a long, steep hill. You suddenly notice that your brakes aren't working as well as normal. What's the usual cause of this? A. Air in the brake fluid. B. Badly adjusted brakes. C. The brakes are overheating. D. Oil on the brakes. The correct answer is C. The brakes are overheating. Explanation. This is more likely to happen on vehicles fitted with drum brakes, but it can apply to disc brakes as well. Using a lower gear will assist the braking and help you to keep control of your vehicle. Question 42 of 51. You have to make a journey in fog. What should you do before you set out? A. Top up the radiator with antifreeze. B. Make sure that you have a warning triangle in the vehicle. C. Make sure that the windows are clean. D. Check the battery. The correct answer is C. Make sure that the windows are clean. Explanation. If you have to drive in fog, switch your dip beam headlights on and keep your windscreen clear. You should always be able to pull up within the distance you can see ahead. Question 43 of 51. You've just driven out of fog. What must you do now that visibility has improved? A. Switch off your fog lights. B. Keep your rear fog lights switched on. C. Keep your front fog lights switched on. D. Leave your fog lights switched on in case the fog returns. The correct answer is A. Switch off your fog lights. Explanation. You must turn off your fog lights if visibility is more than 100 meters 328 feet. Be prepared for the fact that the fog may be patchy and you may need to turn them on again if the fog returns. Question 44 of 51. Why is it dangerous to leave rear fog lights on when they're not needed? A. Electrical systems could be overloaded. B. They may be confused with brake lights. C. The bulbs would fail. D. Direction indicators may not work properly. The correct answer is B. They may be confused with brake lights. Explanation. If your rear fog lights are left on when it isn't foggy, the glare they cause makes it difficult for road users behind to know whether you're braking or you've just forgotten to turn off your rear fog lights. This can be a particular problem on wet roads and on motorways. If you leave your rear fog lights on at night, road users behind you are likely to be dazzled and this could put them at risk. Question 45 of 51. What will happen if you hold the clutch pedal down or roll in neutral for too long? A. It will use more fuel. B. It will improve tire wear. C. It will cause the engine to overheat. D. It will reduce your control. The correct answer is D. It will reduce your control. Explanation. Holding the clutch down or staying in neutral for too long will cause your vehicle to freewheel. This is known as coasting, and it's dangerous because it reduces your control of the vehicle. Question 46 of 51. You're driving down a steep hill. Why could it be dangerous to keep the clutch down or roll in neutral for too long? A. It will damage the engine. B. Your vehicle will pick up speed. C. Fuel consumption will be higher. D. It will wear tires out more quickly. The correct answer is B. Your vehicle will pick up speed. Explanation. Driving in neutral or with the clutch down for long periods is known as coasting. There will be no engine braking and your vehicle will pick up speed on downhill slopes. Coasting can be very dangerous because it reduces steering and braking control. Question 47 of 51. Why is it bad technique to coast when driving downhill? A. The vehicle will gain speed. B. The fuel consumption will increase. C. The tires will wear more quickly. D. The engine will overheat. The correct answer is A. The vehicle will gain speed. Explanation. Coasting is when you allow the vehicle to freewheel in neutral or with the clutch pedal depressed. Speed will increase as you lose the benefits of engine braking and have less control. You shouldn't coast, especially when approaching hazards such as junctions or bends and when traveling downhill. Question 48 of 51. What should you do when dealing with this hazard? A. Switch on your windscreen wipers. B. Use a low gear and drive slowly. C. Use a high gear to prevent wheel spin. D. Switch on your hazard warning lights. The correct answer is B. Use a low gear and drive slowly. Explanation. In normal conditions, a ford can be crossed quite safely by driving through it slowly. The water may affect your brakes, so when you're clear of the ford, test them before you resume normal driving. Question 49 of 51. Why is traveling in neutral for long distances known as coasting wrong? A. The engine will run faster. B. It will make the engine stall. C. It will cause the car to skid. D. There won't be any engine braking. The correct answer is D. There won't be any engine braking. Explanation. Try to look ahead and read the road. Plan your approach to junctions and select the correct gear in good time. This will give you the control you need to deal with any hazards that occur. You'll coast a little every time you change gear. This can't be avoided, but it should be kept to a minimum. Question 50 of 51. When must you use dipped headlights during the day? A. All the time. B. In poor visibility. C. When parking. D. On narrow streets. The correct answer is B. In poor visibility. Explanation. You must use dipped headlights when daytime visibility is seriously reduced, generally to 100 meters, 328 feet, or less. You may also use front or rear fog lights, but they must be switched off when visibility improves. Question 51 of 51. You're braking on a wet road. Your vehicle begins to skid. It doesn't have anti-lock brakes. What's the first thing you should do? A. Gently use the accelerator. B. Push harder on the brake pedal. C. Quickly pull up the handbrake. D. Release the foot brake. The correct answer is D. Release the foot brake. Explanation. If the skid has been caused by braking too hard for the conditions, release the brake. You may then need to reapply and release the brake again. You may need to do this a number of times. This will allow the wheels to turn, and so some steering should also be possible.